In this edition of What Doing, we log a ton of miles on a famous Ohio trail. We caught a ton of fish. We'll tour a cheese factory and pack a whole bunch of it home. We'll also explore a few covered bridges and meet some local people, and we got a very unique view of central Ohio's scenery. Come on along as we explore around Ohio. Welcome to What Doing. We're Deb and Aaron, two retirees originally from Washington State who love to travel the country, make new friends, have new adventures, scuba dive, hike, cook, and just about anything outdoors. Come along for the ride. You never know what kind of crazy adventures we're going to get mixed up in, and you never know what doing. After spending time in Alabama with Raven getting some spa treatments, it was time to leave the stormy weather and head north for the summer. We had two Harvest Host stops along the way. In Kentucky, we stayed at Arcadia Farms. It's an old horse farm that's now an up-and-coming bed and breakfast owned by two chefs. In Illinois, we stayed at Skydive Chicago. No, we didn't jump, but we got to watch some amazing people do extraordinary things when they did jump. We landed at the KOA Holiday in Mount Gilead, Ohio to spend some family time with our daughter Megan and our granddaughter Adriana. They're just about as goofy as we are. While they were busy finishing up the first couple of days with work and finishing up school, Deb and I made a plan to walk the Kokosing Gap Trail. One of the great things about visiting Ohio is some of the hikes. We're in the Kokosing Gap Trail. It's a 14-mile long trail that goes from Mount Vernon through Gambier and to Point South. We're actually going to hike it twice because we park at one trailhead, walk to the next trailhead and back, and move the truck, and then walk to the next trailhead and back. But it goes through Kenyon College, steeped in history down here. This is the old railroad bed. It's a nice, easy hike, and we'll show you a little bit about it.
Coordinated with the flowers today. Look how beautiful they are. That's amazing.
It's a paved and wheelchair accessible trail that has some stunning views. There's a ton of wildlife and songbirds. The cardinals were particularly spectacular.
That is like squirrel yoga. Look at him going. What is he doing?
The trail follows the old rail line, and you can still see examples of that today. As you pass the grounds of Kenyon College, there are displays and information on how Kenyon was formed in 1823 and how the town of Gambier formed around it. Kenyon is rated as one of the top liberal arts colleges in the nation, and President Rutherford B. Hayes studied here. Another interesting spot on the trail is the Brown Family Environmental Center. It's a 700-acre preserve that has another 11 miles of trails. It's open to the public and has programs like stargazing and full moon hikes, prairie tours, and an annual photography contest. Adri got to join us on the trail when school got out for the summer. I think she got lucky and joined us on the prettiest part of the hike. And I think she also got the animal friend and lover gene from me. She attracted a lot of wildlife, and I don't know what it is about the turtles lately, but they've all been coming out to see us. If you've seen us walking and on our hikes, you know every once in a while we have to do a little rescue. We found a turtle we need to rescue. He's way away from the pond. We got to put this little guy back in the pond. We're at the part of the trail that goes through Howard, Ohio. And this arch that's here is built in 1874. It goes over, or what is on top of it is State Route 36. It used to go over the old railroad that we're hiking the railroad grade. I'm not sure what the old house is here, but this place is pretty dang cool. This is the end, or depending on which direction you're going, the beginning. We're in Danville. We're finishing up the last leg of the trail. We've made it 14.7 miles from Mount Vernon. Each section we had to walk out and walk back because we parked Doug, walk to one trailhead, come back, and then when we start out, we'd start at the next trailhead and keep going. This is the last one, so we're at the end. We're gonna hike up to milepost 10.5 where we left off with our last one, and then back down to here. So 14.7, but really it's double that because we've walked it all twice. So here we go. And there you have the Kokosing Gap Trail from Mount Vernon all the way down through to Gambier to Howard. We ended up down here in Danville. 15 miles of trail. Again, about 30 miles of walking it because we did it out and back. It would be a great deal to have a second car, have somebody park at the beginning, have somebody park down here, and meet in the middle and exchange keys so you could do it as a through hike. But whatever it takes, we got her done. We'll see you at the next adventure. We've stayed at some pretty cool campgrounds and KOAs across the country, and this one moved right up to the top of our favorites list. We pulled in the week before Memorial Day, and it was kind of a ghost town. The sites were huge, clean, and very well taken care of. This won the award for the best KOA in 2025, and they earned it. As Memorial Day got closer, the park filled up. I think only 3 spots didn't get booked, but it never really felt like it was crowded. We even made friends with the people who parked next to us. Turns out he was a recently retired Columbus police officer. We took advantage of the fishing ponds, and because it's private property, we didn't even need to buy a license.
Hello, buddy.
The ponds were good for trout, bass, and even catfish. It was all catch and release, and we had a blast catching them. I think the granddaughter had the record for the most fish caught, but I caught a few too. We made a day trip up to Amish Country to a dangerous little town called Berlin. Now, it's not dangerous in the way you might think. It's dangerous because of the shopping. It's in Amish Country, and Deb fell in love with it. It cannot come home with us.
I think it'd be perfect on the coach.
One of the most dangerous places for me was Heine's Cheese Chalet. They have a huge selection of cheeses made right at the shop, and you can watch them making it. Some of the most crazy flavors you've ever heard of, but they're all super good. Some of the smoked cheeses are the best I've ever had. And the Bermuda onion cheese? Wow. You can sample any of these before you buy, and they also have the sausage and pepperoni to go with it.
Mom, this is for you. You wanted Limburger. I'm going to mail this to Maui. It's perfect.
If it's not cheeses you're after, there's all kinds of fantastic snacks, meals, chocolates, and scrumptious goodies. The mini Buckeyes are totally irresistible. Yeah, they came home with us. If you visit, get a basket on the way in and fill it up. Remember, you only go around once in life, so grab all the Heine's you can. Another great day trip is Roscoe Village in Coshocton County. Now, if you know us, you know that we love to get off the beaten path, and we love taking things slow and traveling the back roads. This day was no exception. We got way off the beaten path, but we always find some great things. So you find tons of cornfield in Ohio, but also you find some really interesting things. This is the old stone fort. The oldest building in Ohio, built sometime between 1679 and 1689. That's like old. And then we found the covered bridges. The Helmick Bridge was built clear back in 1863. But our favorite one was the Bridge of Dreams. Built in 1944 on the old railroad line, it connects the Kokosing Gap Trail to the Holmes County Trail and is now part of the Mohican Valley Trail. The trail is heavily used by hikers and by Amish families commuting between Danville and Brinkhaven. We met an Amish family that was at the bridge taking a lunch break and got to spend some time racing the kids with the drone. We spent an hour or so talking with the adults and exchanging information on each other's way of life. They were just as fascinated with our life and travel as we were with theirs. They gave us permission to take these photos. We made a stop at the Ohio-Erie Canal. It was built in the 1820s to connect Akron with the Cuyahoga River and other canal systems. It's 308 miles long and uses 152 locks on its path. The Ohio-Erie Canal, you can buy your ticket and ride the boat that's pulled by the big mules up through the Erie Canal. The path alongside the canal is where the mules will go. Pulls the boat right up through the middle of the canal. As you walk the grounds, be on the lookout for animals. They're all trying to fit in the same little hole. 2 made it in, the third one had to turn around and back in. But I don't think he can get all the way in there. Well, he can. Oh, until the fourth one comes along. Well, here's kind of a conundrum. You got a groundhog on the left, a groundhog on the middle, and then over here, you got Mr. Turtle. Where do you suppose he's going? You're headed the wrong direction there, buddy. And then, right in the middle of the path, bloop. You guys have some kind of special event you're headed to? Because the pond is up there. Roscoe Village has the self-guided living history tour where you can go into the buildings and it's set up the way it was back in the heyday of Roscoe Village. The village is another great place with shops and things to explore and a couple of really good restaurants. We even met Brad and Kathy, the owners of the pet shop, who have a resident cat named Junie. Our next stop took us to a place to quench our thirst. It's the Woolly Pig Farm Brewery because, well, why not? It's a small microbrewery with some great beers, ciders, and non-alcoholic drinks on tap. You can sit inside at the Woolly Pig and have a beer. You can sit outside and have a beer. Or you can have your own private little cabin and have a beer. They don't serve food here, but they do have food trucks that come in Friday, Saturday, and Sunday for the food. But what a cool place. The big old red barn, and we'll go take a look at the namesakes, the Woolly Pigs. Some people say that they mistake them when they're out in the field for sheep. They come from Bavaria. And they are definitely woolly. But they still look like pigs to me. Hi, buddy. Are you a woolly pig? He's the strong, silent type, apparently.
It's a woolly pig. They're amazing. Wow. I still don't know how you could, like, mistake them for sheep.
No.
But supposedly people mistake them for sheep. Oh, Aaron getting you.
Everybody loves a little snout rub. We decided to let those two eat lunch, so we headed to our next stop, the Ravens Glen Winery. When you name your coach Raven and you find Ravens Glen Winery, you almost have to stop, right? Ravens Glen had some incredibly good wines. I'm not a wine drinker, but it was good stuff. Coshocton County is a bit like stepping back in time, but in a very good way. Time for one more adventure. we discovered Ariel Foundation Park. This is the site of what used to be the 1 million square foot manufacturing plant for Pittsburgh plate glass. PPG closed this facility in 1976, and while there's some controversy about the environmental concerns with hazardous waste and some hard feelings about the economical impacts of the closure, most people have embraced the area's history and created a positive space out of the old industrial site. It's now a place for community events, concerts, and outdoor recreation in the 250-acre park. The Park Foundation made use of the surviving factory elements like the ruins of some of the buildings, the open areas created by the closure, and even some of the debris of glassmaking. But the real centerpiece of the park is the old smokestack that's now the Raston Observation Tower. It's 280 feet tall with an observation deck at 140 feet that you can reach by climbing the 224 stairs of the spiral staircase. This is the tallest structure in Mount Vernon, and it provides a great view. The park also has trails for walking and several lakes or ponds for fishing. It's a beautiful area to spend some time with the family or just a nice quiet time with your bride. If you visit the Central Ohio area, there's more than enough to explore and keep you busy. We know that Kolohe sure enjoyed it. It's time for us to head north for our next area to explore, Wisconsin and Minnesota. So look for us on the road, at a campground, exploring old factories, or taking Kolohe for a walk, 'cause you never know what doing.